Hey Christian, it's Kane, and I am sitting in an empty church building yet again. Where are you right now? Probably confined to one building most of the time. We are on the downslope of the coronavirus situation, and most of us are pretty much chained to the places that we live, the places that we call home. Here's a question for you though. Where does the gospel live? When you think about sharing the gospel with someone, what does that look like? Sharing the gospel. What's your strategy? And is the goal of that strategy, is the end-all be-all getting them to the church building for a service? Now listen, I get it, I understand. The church building, it's a safe place for a lot of us. And we can come and we can hear the gospel taught from the comfort of the pew there, and bringing somebody to service with us, that absolutely is a form of evangelism. It's a good one, but it's passive evangelism. Bringing someone to the building doesn't guarantee that they're going to understand everything that's said or done there. Can't take that for granted. And it also may not be what they need to hear in that moment, what they need to hear to have their heart softened enough to be reached. So this Tuesday, what I want to do is I want to give you a quick tip for your disciple-making efforts and remind you of this one truth. The gospel is not chained to the church building. It is not chained to the pulpit. The gospel message of resurrection and redemption is in you. 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 27, you are the body of Christ and individually members of it. So wherever you go, that's where the gospel should be found. We don't have to wait for someone to walk into the church building to show them and teach them who Jesus is. Every person that we meet is a potential prospect. Every person has a soul, and every person is someone that Jesus gave his life for. All your friends, all your coworkers, your relatives, there are ways to reach out to each and every one of them. Just start the dialogue. It might take days, weeks, months, or years, but it is worth it. It might start with, for example, an offer to pray together, or you might ask them a question about their experience with God. It could start with a gesture of a listening ear and an outstretched hand. You just never really know. In fact, we won't know what works unless we try. So church, we have to take our idea of evangelism beyond the idea of getting folks inside the building. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to bring people to church. It's a really good thing, and we need to keep trying to make it happen whenever we can meet together again post-coronavirus world. Funnily enough, our congregation decided to initiate the process of purchasing a new building right in the middle of the pandemic that's caused us to not be able to meet. We've just been pressing on ahead. So we actually may not be able to meet together in this building again before this is all said and done. We're just going to have to wait and see about that one. But it just really drives home the point that the building is just that, a building. The gospel is not behind a door or held in walls. The gospel is not held only in the hands of preachers. The mystery that Paul talks about is Christ in us. Jesus living in the hearts of every Christian. We've been brought from death to life, and Christ has ignited a fire in our hearts that should burn brightly whether we sit in the pews or not. So when we're able to move out into the world again, let's not confine our faith and the efforts to share that faith to a building. The gospel is not chained to the building, and it's not chained to the pulpit. Let's remember that as we're allowed to re-enter the world in the coming weeks and months for the rest of our lives. Let's never forget that the gospel belongs anywhere and everywhere we might find ourselves. So with that, I hope that you've been encouraged and edified in your life as a disciple of Christ here on this little Tuesday tip. Hope you'll be able to use this tip to change your mind frame just a little bit and be strengthened to be an ambassador for Christ in every arena of life that you step into. And if I can be of any help, please reach out to me. I will reach back to you. I hope you're blessed, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.